Good morning, everybody. So I am back here again at the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, ready to travel for another trip. Now, if you follow this YouTube channel or maybe my Instagram, you might be thinking, hey Chris, didn't you just get back from a trip? And the answer to that is yes. Less than 24 hours ago, Lisa and I landed back here in Atlanta after visiting Austin, Texas for the weekend in order to celebrate one of Lisa's friends' wedding. And that was a lot of fun, but yet here I am again. This time I'm traveling for work and I'm heading up to the state of Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin is one of my favorite states in all the country for a couple of reasons. One, I was actually born in Wisconsin. I didn't live there for very long, but I do still have family up there, so I do like to try to visit them whenever I'm in the area. And two, Wisconsin is the state of beer and cheese, two of my absolute favorite things in the culinary world. So even though I'm here for work, I am going to try to have a little bit of fun as well. I'm going to be in the Milwaukee and Madison areas while I'm up in Wisconsin. So I'm going to try to visit a couple of different breweries after I finish up my work. So let's cue that airport montage to get us to Wisconsin. All right, everyone, so I'm here at my first brewery in Milwaukee. This place is called Mobcraft Beer. From what I hear, they're sort of based off of crowdsourcing, where a lot of the ideas that they get for the beers that they brew here are actually from suggestions provided by people that visit the brewery. So I think that's a really interesting idea, and I'm excited to go see what they have in store. After this, I've sort of picked out a couple of other different breweries to go visit. I'm planning on heading to Lakefront Brewery, which is a little further north from here. And then after that, I'm planning on going to a place called City Lights Brewery. It's a brewery that I hadn't heard of before. I think it's pretty new, so I'm really excited to try that. Let's head into Mobcraft first and see what we have in store. All right, so I'm here at Mobcraft now, ready to try out some beers. I got a flight. I got 4 different types of beers here. So I have the Vanilla Wafer Porter. I also have Cast Out, which is supposed to be a sour beer. And then I got the Laughing Clown, which is a chocolate stout. And then lastly, I got a Rhubarb IPA. So that's what I have here. So I'm going to try them probably from light to dark here. So I'm going to start with the Cast Out, which again is supposed to be sour. So it's right here. Cheers. That's sour. That's really good though. It's really refreshing. I don't like a lot of sour beers, but this one you get a really good amount of citrus from it. I really like this one. I'm sure Lisa loves sour beers, and she would love this beer. So this one's really good. Yeah, so next I have the Rhubarb IPA, which is just an IPA with some rhubarb in it. So let's give it a try here. Cheers. That's also really good. So this rhubarb IPA is really good. It's not too hoppy. It's definitely hoppy, but it's really good though. It's also pretty light and refreshing. I do like it a lot as well. All right, so next up I'm going to try the Vanilla Wafer. Now this was the one that the bartender here recommended to me. He said it's one of his favorite porters that they have on tap here. So cheers. Wow. That's really good. It's got a nice roastiness to it, but at the same time, it's really sweet. It really does. The vanilla comes through really well. It's not overpowering. It's really well balanced. Yeah, that's really good. All right, and last one up is the Laughing Clown. It is a Imperial Chocolate Stout, so this one should be pretty strong. Give it a try. This one's really good as well. It's strong for sure, but it's not overpoweringly strong. It's actually close to 10%. It's a 9.8% ABV, but honestly, it doesn't taste like it. Like a lot of strong beers, sometimes will just taste like alcohol, and that's all you can taste. This one's got a nice roasty flavor. The chocolate comes through really well. It's a little sweet. I like all of these beers. I'm gonna finish them all up, close out, and head to the next brewery. All right, So we've made it to the second brewery that I wanted to go to today here at Lakefront Brewery. This is one of my favorite breweries that I've ever been to. I've come here, this is probably my fourth or fifth time now. So anytime I'm up in Wisconsin, I always try to come up here. This is one of my favorite breweries. They have definitely the funniest tour I've ever been on. I've gone on the tour quite a few times, and each tour guide has their own unique spin on it. It's really, really good. So that's highly recommended. Also, the beers here are excellent. I haven't had a beer that I haven't liked here, but we're gonna go ahead inside and see what they have on tap today. And I don't think they do flights here. If they don't, I'm probably just gonna get one beer and try it out, but we'll see what they have. So let's head on inside. All right, so it's a bit loud in here right now, but I'm here at Lakefront Brewery. It turns out that they do offer flights here. I didn't think they did, but apparently they do. But I actually got lucky. Today's what they call happy hour, where you can get half off pints and half pints of beer, and you could also get half off of cheese curds, which is a Wisconsin specialty up here. So it was actually cheaper to just get a couple of half pints rather than the flight. The flight runs about $12, and each half pint is only $1.50. So I have 2 half pints here today to try out right now. So I'm trying the Citrica, which is like a Mexican-style lager, I believe, and I got the Maibach as well. So we'll go ahead again. We'll go from light to dark. So I'm going to start with the Citrica here. It's pretty refreshing. It's better than anything you'll get from Corona or anything like that. It still has like a nice malty flavor, something that you don't find in a lot of Mexican-style beers. I don't have a lime in it. This would be so good with a lime. This is an excellent, excellent beach beer. It's nice and easy drinking, so I do like a lot. Now we'll try the Maibach. Ooh, that's nice. It tastes like it's in the style of a lot of lagers you would get from mass market breweries. But this one's really nice and smooth. It's got a really good malty taste to it that I really like a lot. It smells really malty. It doesn't smell like watered down beer like you would get from Budweiser or something. I mean, you can tell also it's a little darker in color as well. It's really good. They're not my favorites. I will say overall I actually enjoyed the beers from Mobcraft actually a little bit better. So that'll definitely be high up on my list when I come back to Wisconsin next time. But I'm going to dig into this food, finish off these beers, but I think I'm going to call it after just these 2 beers. I do want to save some room for the next brewery that we're going to go to, which is going to be City Lights Brewery. So we're going to go head over there and we'll see what they have on tap. All right, so we've made it to the final brewery on the schedule today, which is City Lights Brewing Company. This is a brewery that I've never been to. Again, I think it's another fairly new brewery, but when I was talking to the bartender at Mobcraft, he said that the tap room here is beautiful. And I hear that they have a really good coconut porter here, so I'm looking forward to maybe trying that if they have that on tap still. But we're gonna go see. We'll head on inside and we'll check out what they have on tap. All right, so I'm here in City Lights Brewing Company now, and I ordered a flight, and right off the bat, I have to say this is hands down the nicest looking flight I've ever seen in my life. Like, just look at this thing. I have never seen a presentation like this in a flight before. A lot of places will have the paddles and things like that, which are cool, but this place has this elevated stand. They've got these awesome little glasses. Like, these glasses are great. It's got a nice engraved logo in the wood, and then on top of that, each of the beers are labeled with these wooden engraved markers. That is the coolest thing I have ever seen. So what I got today is I have 4 beers here, and this is probably all I'm going to be drinking today for this one. I got the Brut Wheat Rosé first. This is supposed to have hibiscus and various hops. It's supposed to be fairly light and fruity, is what I'm guessing. It's got a nice pink color to it. And after that, I have the Hazy IPA, which was recommended to me by the server here. Apparently, this is a really nice citrusy, fruity IPA. It's kind of sweet up front, and then the bitterness comes in at the end. So I'm looking forward to trying that one as well. I also got the chocolate strawberry milkshake stout, which really sounds interesting. Now, obviously, chocolate stouts, chocolate milkshake stouts, those are all things that are fairly common, but I'm really interested to see what the strawberry brings into the mix. And then lastly, I got the coconut porter, which again is what all of the reviews for this place say is one of their best beers. I have the nitro coconut porter today. So we're going to start with the wheat rosé first. Cheers. Ooh, that's good because it's not as sweet as I was expecting it to be. Just from the color and the aroma, I expected it to be pretty sweet, but it's actually quite crisp. It's like a really crisp wheat beer that's really refreshing. This would be a really good summertime beer for me. I would love this in summer. Maybe not now with the weather being a little bit chilly now, but it's really refreshing. It doesn't have any lingering aftertaste or anything like that. It's really clean. It's really crisp. I really like it. All right, so next up, got the hazy IPA here. Cheers. Oh my God. Wow, she was not lying about that. Yeah, so up front, it's just a blast of citrus. I wouldn't really say it's sweet per se, but it's just a blast of lemon, maybe a little lime, just a blast of citrus up front, and it's really refreshing. And then at the end is when the bitterness comes in, but it's not overpowering. It's not really my favorite style for sure. This one's really good. It's really refreshing. It's not overpoweringly bitter. I really like citrusy IPAs, and that's what this has in spades. I'm going to go out of order on my tray here. I'm going to do the Nitro Coconut Porter next. Cheers. Oh. What is? Oh, this tastes like something familiar to me. And I don't know why, because I don't like coconut that much is the thing. All the reviews say it's really good. Hands down their best beer. So I felt like I had to order it while I was here, and I have to say it's spectacular. It's roasty. The nitro is so smooth on the tongue. And there's a coconut flavor to it. It's not very strong. It's not sweet or anything, but it tastes like something that I've had in my past. It's like something nostalgic almost. I don't know what it would be though, because again, I don't like coconuts. I never ate like a lot of coconutty food or anything. I have no idea what it is, but oh man, that is so good. Oh my, I can't even explain it. I'm lost for words right now. It's really, really, really good. I really like it. Now we're gonna go for the one I really wasn't sure about, and that's this chocolate strawberry milkshake stout. Now again, chocolate stouts are something that I love. I love chocolate stouts. I love chocolate milk stouts. But strawberry just seemed a little odd to me, but I'm a pretty adventurous person. Let's give it a try. Cheers. So it's very mild, I would say. It's not super strong. It's got a roasty flavor, but it's not the forefront of the beer for sure. It's more of a background roastiness. The strawberry, I don't really notice that much. I'll have to give it a second taste later. But I think after that coconut porter, it just pales in comparison, unfortunately. I think that's going to be it for me today, trying out different breweries. I had a lot of fun so far. But that's it for today, so we'll see you in just a little bit. Hello everyone. So, change of plans. I was thinking of maybe going to Madison today, but what we ended up doing is I actually drove down to Beloit, which is where my family lives. So I had dinner with my uncle and my grandma, and we had some delicious homemade food. But we had found out that there is a brand new brewery that opened here just today, just their grand opening here in Beloit. So we decided to try to come. We heard it was really busy, so we waited to come a little bit later, and it was perfect timing now. There's enough space for us to get a nice table here. I have a flight of beers here. So this first one here, I believe is the 608. It's just a citrusy wheat beer, so let's give it a try. Cheers. Okay, so it's light and refreshing. It's very crisp. It does have a hint of citrus. It's not overpoweringly citrusy though, so I do like it a lot. It's very refreshing. It'd be a really good beer to have in the summer, which it's not really the weather here in Wisconsin right now. It's in the 40s, but if this was a little bit warmer, this beer would be easy drinking, no problem. All right, so next I have the 608 with apricot and peach. So, oh, you can smell that apricot like right off the bat. So it's a little bit hazier than the normal one. So, cheers. That's really good. This one's awesome. Okay, yeah, the apricot comes out really nicely. It's very smooth. It's very easy drinking still. It's not heavy, but the apricot just gives it something special. So I really, really enjoyed that one. All right, so next up, this is called the Hindenburg in a Lightning Storm, and this one is a Kolsch, but I got the special version that they have right now. It's the Kolsch with coffee, and so it's sort of a fusion here. It's something that's not typically done. Most places with Kolsches will just do a straightforward Kolsch as something clean and refreshing. So I had to try this coffee Kolsch here. That is surprising. It's actually really refreshing still. It's like not overly roasty. It doesn't have an overpowering coffee flavor, but it's still there, definitely. It's not bitter. It doesn't add any bitterness or anything to it. It's really good. I really like this a lot, actually. It's like the perfect blend between a nice, clean Kolsch and then a little bit of a coffee flavor. So another winner for me here. All right, so next up, we have the Busted Rear View. This is a double IPA. Cheers. That's very citrusy. Now, again, IPAs aren't my favorite style of beer, but this one's not super bitter, especially for being a double IPA, which is it's surprising. But it's really good. It's very citrusy. They used a lot of citrusy hops. It has a nice citrusy punch to it. It's really refreshing too. It's not overly bitter. So as far as IPAs go, it's one that I would enjoy and happily order again. And the last beer we have, this is the Taste Like Midnight. It's a chocolate stout. So this is the last one that I ordered. We'll give it a try. Okay. It just tastes like a good chocolate coffee stout. It's got a little bit of chocolate up front. It's not too sweet though. It has a little bit of coffee on the back end, I'd say. Overall, pretty good. I like it a lot. That's it for my tasting of these beers. But tomorrow, if I have time, I might try to still go to Madison for some beers, but for sure on Thursday, I'm heading back to Milwaukee for my flight. I should have some time beforehand to hit up a couple more breweries. So we'll see you in a little bit there. Good afternoon, everybody. I finished up work again, so we are able to go check out a couple of different breweries here in Madison this time. The first place we're stopping at is here. This is called Funk Factory Geuzeria. I actually don't know how to pronounce that last word, but they specialize in some sour beers. I'm meeting my cousin and her boyfriend here, so why don't we go ahead inside, say hello to them, and see what's on tap. All right, guys, so we're here now inside the Funk Factory. This is my cousin Mary. We got a live band in the back here, so hopefully this is picking my voice up. I have 3 beers here today, so I have the Funk Factory Citrus Myrtz. The Myrtz is like their staple beer, it looks like. It says it's made from some second runnings of Alambic. So all of these beers are sort of sour beers. That's what they specialize in. I mean, hence the name Funk Factory. So we have the citrus beer here. Then after that, I have the, it's called the Broken Dishes. And then lastly, we have the Cherry Myrtz as well. So it's just the Myrtz, but with cherries added in as well. So start down the line. We're going to start with the Citrus Myrtz and see how it goes. Cheers. That's sour. Wow. That's actually really good, though. It's really refreshing. I can see the citrus for it. It does have a little citrus zest flavor in it, so I really like that. It's very refreshing, though. It's really sour. This is the sourest beer I've had so far on the trip up north. All right, so next is the Broken Dishes. Yeah, that's really good. It sort of has a wine flavor to it, which it does mention in the menu, so it's good, though. It's still also refreshing. I will say I think I prefer the citrus over it, but now let's move on and we'll try the cherry next. Cheers. The cherry one is really good. It's very good. It's very similar to the citrus because, again, it's still based off of the Myrtz, which is, again, their staple beer here, but the tart cherries that they add to it it's really good. It's like the perfect aftertaste you get for it. I really like. Okay, so the cherry would definitely be my favorite. All 3 of them are very good, though. They're all very refreshing. I would happily drink any of these again, but the cherry for me today is the winner. I'm going to finish up these beers, and then after we're done here today, I think we're heading up a little bit further north in Madison. So we'll see you guys over there. Boom. All right. So we had a slight change of plans from our original ideas. After we went to the Funk Factory, we were trying to find a place with some food, and we were recommended to go to a brewery called Working Draft Brewery. And we got there, and we found out it was trivia night, so it was packed. And we weren't able to find a seat or any standing room, really, where we'd be able to eat and drink. So we left, and luckily we're in Wisconsin, where there is no shortage of breweries. So we headed over to another brewery called Asylum. This is one that I've actually been to a couple times with Lisa when we were up in Wisconsin. And we got some food, we got some drinks, so we'll go ahead and try the beers first. The flights that they do here are 6 different beers, so we split it half and half. So I got 3 beers here. I got the Unshadowed, which is a Hefeweizen. That's my favorite style of beer. And I got the Madtown Nut Brown, which is a nut brown ale. And then lastly, I have the Krasnak, which is just a standard stout. So let's go ahead. We're going to go from light to dark here and start with the Unshadowed. This is the Hefeweizen. Cheers. That's really good. It's nice and hazy. Usually Hefeweizens have that flocculent yeast, so it's very cloudy. It's got a lot of banana flavor, which I love in Hefeweizens, so it's really good, really refreshing. Next up, we have the Madtown Nut Brown. Okay, it's not my favorite nut brown that I've ever had. It's very smooth. It's really easy drinking. It does have a decent nuttiness, but I do like my nut browns to have a more pronounced nuttiness than this one has. So it's not bad, but I've definitely had better. And then third is the Krasnak Stout. That one's pretty good. It doesn't have any super specialized flavoring. It's just a standard stout with nice roasted malts. It has sort of a chocolate coffee characteristic, but I don't think it's brewed with chocolate or coffee. It's just really well balanced. It's really good to drink. It warms you right up, so I really enjoyed it a lot. And on top of that, I got this delicious looking buffalo chicken sandwich in front of me as well. So I'm going to dig in, and then after we finish up here, we're going to try to head over to Untitled Art, and we'll catch you over there. All right, everybody. So I'm here at Octopi Brewing. It turns out, after doing a little bit of research, that Untitled Art doesn't actually have their own brewery. They actually just do all their brewing through Octopi here, which is a contract brewer. Octopi actually they brew the Untitled Art stuff, but they also brew other recipes for people on a more of a larger scale than you could do basically on your own. So it's actually a really cool idea. Lisa and I were here 2 years ago. We had some pretty good beers here when we were here last time. So I have 2 beers in front of me right now. I have the Tangerine Double IPA, and I have the Pineapple Sherbet, and both of these are from Untitled Art. But before that, I was actually able to get a couple of small tastings of some different beers. I tried the Fudgesicle Chocolate Stout from Untitled Art. I also tried the Belgian Chocolate Vanilla Toffee Stout, which is actually from Octopi Brewing. Those are both really good, but now I got a couple of different ones to try out here. So I'm going to start with the Pineapple Sherbet. Cheers. That one's pretty good. It's really tart. It's got a very nice hint of pineapple. It's not overpoweringly sweet from the pineapple. It's actually a little sour. It's apparently brewed it's a collaboration between Untitled Art and a brewery out of Chicago called Microphone Brewing. It's really good. I like it a lot. And then next up, we'll try the Tangerine Double IPA. Cheers. All right. It's definitely an IPA. It's definitely a double IPA. It's really, really bitter with good hop flavor. But the tangerine comes through really well. It's really, really citrusy. The hops complement the citrus from the tangerine as well. It's a good complement, and it's really good. IPAs aren't my favorite, so it's probably not one I'd order all the time, but it's nice to try, and I really do like it a lot as well. It's a good IPA. All around, enjoyed it a lot. So, and that's going to be it for tonight. Once I finish up work tomorrow, I'm going to be heading back to Milwaukee in order to catch my flight in the evening. So I should have a little bit of time to visit a brewery or two beforehand. So hopefully we see you tomorrow. Another dreary day. Good afternoon, everybody. I finished up work nice and early today, and my flight doesn't leave until about 6:30 or so this evening. So I have a couple hours to kill here in Milwaukee. So I'm outside of Good City Brewing right now. Apparently I've been here before when we were here last time in Milwaukee, but I honestly don't remember it. So I wanted to check it out again. It was actually recommended to me by the bartender when I was over at Octopi last night. So I felt like it'd be a good opportunity to try it out again. It's really cold outside here today. We're in the 40s still, and I'm wearing just a t-shirt. So let's head inside and warm up, and we'll see what they have on tap. All right, so we are warming up inside. Now it's very comfortable in here. I'm feeling much warmer already. So I have a flight of 4 different beers here. I have a Maibach, which is called the Bike Trail Bach. Then I have the Varietal Amarillo IPA. So that's just going to be an IPA that uses Amarillo or Amarillo hops. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I really don't know which one's correct. So then third, I have the Velocity IPA. This one's supposed to be a juicy, citrusy IPA. Lastly, I have the Detail, and that's their porter. We'll go from right to left, from light to dark here. So we're going to start with the Maibach here. Again, this is called the Bike Trail Bach. Cheers. It's refreshing and clean, but it does have a little bit of lingering bitterness. So it's not my favorite. It's got a really good body. I really like the maltiness you get from it, but the bitterness lingers a little bit too long for my liking. It's not my absolute favorite. All right, so next we're going to go to the Amarillo IPA here. Okay, so surprisingly, this one has less of a lingering bitterness, especially since it's an IPA. I actually find it quite refreshing. It has a pretty decent citrus flavor. It's not very citrusy, I would say, but it's still really nice and refreshing. It's very clean. So I do think that that's actually a really good IPA. So far, so good. We're going to go on to number 3 here. This is the Velocity. Again, this is supposed to be the juicy, citrusy IPA, so we'll see if it has a little more citrus than the last one. That one is very citrusy. Not overpoweringly sweet like a lot of juicy IPAs might be. It's got a really nice balance between the bitterness and the juiciness. I really like it. It's also refreshing. I would definitely do prefer this IPA over the last one. And then the last one here is the Detail. And again, this is just a standard porter. Cheers. So yeah, it doesn't have any like extra flavoring, I believe. It's just some nice roasted malts. It's not as heavy as a stout. I mean, it is a porter after all. And honestly, it's really good. It's really clean. It's not overly bitter. It's really well balanced. I actually think it's a nice palate cleanser almost after some of the more bitter beers that I have had. So it's really good. I really, really like it. There's something about just like a nice clean porter. Nothing, you don't have to add flavors to it all the time. Everybody's like, oh, you need a chocolate porter, coconut porter, coffee porter. Sometimes it's nice just to have the base by itself. The roastiness is absolutely delicious, so I really like this one a lot. Overall, I think they're all really good, and I really like the space here. So the bar that I'm sitting at where I'm drinking these beers is actually really cool because it's almost inside the brewery itself. You're like right next to the mash tanks, fermentation tanks. You get a nice smell of all the beer that's being brewed. I love that smell. It's a wonderful smell. It's awesome. So I really like the atmosphere in here, and I'm going to enjoy these beers. Unfortunately, nothing's really open until about 3 or 4, so I think I'm just going to call it. I've had a lot of fun here in Milwaukee and in Madison and really all throughout Wisconsin. Wisconsin is definitely one of my favorite states to visit in order to drink beers. There's so many really good craft breweries around, and it just seems like more and more keep popping up each time I come. I really enjoyed my time here, and what I think I'm going to do now is I'm just going to head off to the airport. It's super early for my flight, but that'll give me plenty of time to go get my laptop out and start working on this episode, get it all put together and uploaded up. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you're ever in the state of Wisconsin, any of the breweries that I mentioned in here, I highly recommend all of them. I had fantastic beers at each and every one of them, and I'm sure there's plenty more that I missed. I'm sure you just can't go wrong going to one of these small craft breweries here in the state of Wisconsin. So until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, be sure to give me a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. We're just over the halfway mark for getting our own custom YouTube URL. So trying to hit that 100 subscriber mark. Again, thanks guys for tuning in, and until next time, cheers.